Here we go. Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes, and this afternoon I'm joined by Sean Conley and Chris McElwain. We're at Tannadice. It is Dundee United 0, Celtic 3. Everything's going to plan, Sean.
Yep, get the wrapping paper ready, get the ribbon and the bow out. It's title party is in swing now. Dundee United rarely score more than one goal in a game, and we are 3 to the good at halftime. The interest, the tangerine protest. We didn't really get a grip of the game until the 13th minute when the game gets heavily delayed by the Celtic fans littering half the pitch with tangerines in a very valid protest at the price gouging from Dundee United. Sean, and after that, we got a hold of it.
Can I just mention, I've got to say, Chris Sutton gave the best description on the live commentary about the tangerines. He says they look like clementines.
Only Chris. Sean, I'm glad you said
it's more of a Satsuma, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Let's talk about the merits of the fruit. No, Sean, I'll tell you something. I was thinking it, so I'm glad you said it. Now, I get it. I'm going to bring Daniel. We're not leading with a negative here. I'm going to bring Daniel and Green Brigade doing themselves no favours once again with their childish behaviour. Fine and coming. Listen, there's two ways you could look at it. The big thing for me that I'm taking away from this, Sean, is that it broke up a period of the game, 10 to 13 minutes of the game, where Dundee United were pinning us every single time. We were playing in the first third of the pitch. I think it was 51% possession in our defensive third. Dundee United were playing a game plan and it was working. Now, I know that's not why the Green Brigade did the protest. The protest was against the ticket prices, etc. No one was hurt. Yeah, well, let's look at it. It's not as though people were getting hit with missiles, right? I think Maida started eating them. Right, when he was taking them off the park, he started peeling one of them. Honestly, only Dyson. But yeah, I agree. I think that from that moment on, we just stepped up a gear. We seemed to get in our rhythm. I think it didn't do much for Dundee United because straight away we had them pinned back, Chris.
Yeah, it did. I mean, like I get it. People have different opinions on the protest. I wasn't 100% sure what the protest was for, and I think it was young James on the group chat indicated I think it's in protest against the ticket prices, I believe, in which case I think there's merit in the protest, if not necessarily when it happened or how they did it. But from a football standpoint, it seemed to help us. Sean, I think, said it right pre-match. The game started like a bit of a sludge in a slog. So it was not we weren't having it all our own way. But certainly post-protest, we started to take control of the game. Some good moves, some good build-up. Thought Jota did really well on his goal. Hopefully, the injury's not as bad as it looks. Certainly wasn't a very nice one to see. But then the man that we were talking about pre-match, and someone has been subject to quite a bit of criticism on here and through various other channels. Nick Kühn popping up with 2 goals. Curious whether that little hand gesture was aimed at maybe those given a little bit of criticism, or if it was just to say silencing the critics. Who knows? But look, he's doing his talking on the park, and that's what you want to see. 2 goals. Good little cameo from Idah as well with the step over, which I do believe was intended for that 3rd goal. But yeah, we're in command, and the title is coming back to the good guys.
It is, absolutely. Sean, you said before about remembering the names of those who had scored when we win the league. And at Tannadice, the list of names were as follows: McLeod, McGarvey and Burns, Jan of Hesselink and Rodgers, Giakoumakis. You could add Nicholas Kühn to that, and also Ryan Strain.
I was going to say, yeah.
But
I really wanted Jota to claim it, but when you see the angle from behind, it's definitely an own goal. Look, we'll take it as it comes, right? Like we had the one each game before when we clinched the title here, and that was, so you definitely want to win it with a win. You don't want to be limping over the line. And as Chris said, Kühn is back, baby. This is it. It's the Kühn is
Oh,
starting.
yes. Yes, I love it. Yeah, the Kühn. I'm going to say that myself and claim it as mine. Here we go. The banner, in fact, because it's annoyed a few fans on the chat. Absolutely fine with that, Danny boy. Why did those idiots do that? Well, the banner said, "Enjoy the fruits of our labour," and of course, it was tangerines, which is the nickname, one of the nicknames of Dundee United. And it's all to do with the ticket pricing. You know, there are clubs in the Scottish leagues who do nothing but bemoan the success of Celtic, or even the very presence of Celtic in Scottish football. Let the barn door hit you on the backside on the way out and all that kind of stuff. We hear it all the time. Yet they're happy to take the European money that Celtic win and bring into the Scottish game, or the ticket money that Celtic bring into the Scottish game, or the fact that broadcasting and sponsorship deals with the Scottish game would be much less if Celtic were not involved either as a force or a negotiator in those deals. So I totally get it. I think it's a valid protest. I remember, was it footballs getting thrown in up at Inverness Cali? You remember that? Big Samaras was playing that day, and that delayed it a wee bit.
Was it McDermott? I thought
maybe.
It was McDermott.
Possibly, aye. And there's been tennis balls.
Yeah, the tennis balls might have been Ross County, but I think the footballs one was McDermott because it was an early kickoff because they're European, so they were protesting the kickoff time.
Yeah, there's worse ways to protest. There really is. Jungle Lion's enjoying himself. I hope you're out there in that hut of yours out in the back garden. I am determined at some point to do an Acsom live in the shed, Jungle Lion, and I hope you're enjoying a few sherbets in there as well. Listen, we're going to give, I think, some of the performers real credit in the first half, but let's give Brendan a wee bit of credit. Sean, when you think about Kühn, yeah, Chris is right. He's been criticised, but I think fairly so, because his form was so good. And then it was really, really poor. He was hooked off at 45 minutes at halftime on 2 occasions out of 3 games. 2 games in which we lost, by the way. So I don't think it was unjust, and I don't think there was any personal abuse. It was just your performances are not good enough. Brendan Rodgers takes him out of the starting 11. He reintroduces him. It was a talking point before the game. Brilliant man management, and he gets a tune out of him in the first half there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the games where I was just taking tallies of how many times Kühn was losing possession, and it was always quite concentrated in the start of games as well. Like, defenders just knew they could get at him, and he wasn't doing his defensive actions well either. He'd just be picking up stupid bookings as well. But today he's been on it, and you could tell from this, he does get bullied in the first 5 minutes, and then Engels comes over and rams Ferry into the billboards after Kühn kind of gets out muscled. And I think after that, though, like, Ferry knew, like, step off, and Kühn had a chance to run at him thereafter. And Kühn and Engels were combining really well. But yeah, it was really great down that right-hand side. I know Kühn's got 2 goals, 2 great finishes, but I actually think I would need to mention Arne Engels. I think he's been the driving force today. Like, when he did ram that guy off the pitch, glad the guy didn't get hurt, but it was a signal of intent and aggression, and you know, we're up for this today, and Engels is up for this today, and yeah, he's it looked like one of his balls into the box was going to be where the first goal came from, and that's what it was. And then, you know, he was really putting the game on his back at that point, because we were struggling to get through Dundee United at that point. 2-0, but we create. Actually, I don't know if it's the game kind of changes after Jota goes off, and I don't know if it's because it's 1-0 at that point. I don't know if it's because, or 2-0, sorry. I don't know if it's because it's gone 2-0 and the game's opened up, or if it's because Idah's shifted out to the wing. But Dundee United, we started to create racking up chances after that. So at Dundee United at that point, where we had nothing almost before the goal, it was just, you know, half chances, set pieces into the box, and then we were really racking them up at the end there, and then Dundee United kind of fortunate to only be 3. And then if Idah gets that back heel right, then Kühn's got his hat trick by halftime.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, but and I do. What do you think? Is it because Idah's shifted, or, you know, I can see from the comments people don't think it's Adam Idah that's making the difference. But
no, I'm going to pick up on that, Sean. I do think it is the change, the forced change, and let's hope that, you know, it's just a jarring and it's a bit of bruising and Jota's all right. It's a bit rhythm for me, and all joking aside, the protest stopped the game for 2.5, 3 minutes, and it stopped Dundee United's rhythm. And then when you make that forced change, Dundee United have obviously been working all week on their defensive plan, and that's thrown up in the air because they're having to face something different. So we can criticise Idah, and he's maybe missed the ball a couple of times and all the rest of it. I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to justify Idah's existence almost, and I don't even feel like we need to, because this season, if you look at his contribution to what is a league-winning campaign, which is a double-winning campaign, could be a treble, and we have made progress in Europe, it's been vital. Adam Idah's contribution to that has been vital, but it's almost as if he's on a short leash simply because of this transfer fee that's hanging over him. And you know what? It's not his fault that Celtic could have done the business better. Celtic could have done the business better in the January when we got him in on loan. There was an agreement that broke down with the Italian club, was it Torino, who had set up a deal with Adam Idah at that time to take him on a loan to buy. And it was £5.5 million. Right? Now, Celtic didn't do the business properly. It's not Adam Idah's fault. Yeah, he went for a night out. So what? So what? It was his day off, right? And I think that we're too quick to criticise Adam Idah. Not everybody gets that criticism. But another player that has been criticised this season is Idah and Engels, and that's why I'm keeping this up for David Boyle, right? Prior to taking the corner, which leads to the opening goal, prior to that, he plays a ball, right? He plays a ball through, which is phenomenal, and we win a corner from the ball that he plays through. It's unbelievable. And prior to that, just a couple of minutes before that, Hatate played a ball to the back post that Kühn comes close with. Right. But then Engels starts to turn the screw. And I think that pivotal moment, he using his upper body strength, Sean, to absolutely pulverise that guy into the advertising boards. It really was. It was a message. It was almost as if people have been going on about physicality. I'm going to show you about that. And that's the bit of his game that I think he can work on. So he's playing his part in the opening goal. See the made assist for Kühn. Good, that as good as it was. Look at the secondary assist. Yeah, look at the through ball by Engels. Yeah. Unbelievable. And these are the things that I do think he's been doing this season, but they've been overlooked for some reason. Engels has been fantastic in the first half. Let's hope Idah gets a good second half, Chris, because he's on a short leash when it comes to criticism.
Listen, I really hope he goes out there and turns it on. He's got a good opportunity. He's on. It's going to be the title party. No better opportunity to go and prove yourself to the fans. You're right. He's got this transfer fee hanging over his head. It's not his fault. But look, we get this over the line today. He's been a huge part of the success we've had this season, and hopefully we'll continue to do so until we get the treble wrapped up. So I've got no fears about Adam Idah. I think he's working hard. He's had a couple of goals recently. He's in good position to get another one today. So fingers crossed to him.
Well, here's a point here that Liam Devine makes, and I'm not disagreeing particularly, Liam. Even when you put Idah into situations which are meant to be his strength, he is poor. He's a box player, but even then, he's not a GT level box player. He's got 4 years to go to get to the age of Giakoumakis, where Giakoumakis was when he came to Celtic. So he's progressing, he's learning all the time, and I just think we need to cut him a bit of slack, Sean.
Yeah, look, especially coming on unexpected, right? He wasn't warm. He was sitting on the bench. An injury happens. It's uninspected. You're just chucked into the game. I think you're going to take a minute. And I don't think he was poor. I think people are focusing on the fact that that cutback for the third goal, he's kind of fluffed that a little bit, and Kühn's benefited from it. And I think that's really drawn the attention. But I thought he did okay. I thought there's one point where he makes two times he makes runs into the channel and holds the ball up well, and then opens up play. I thought he did well enough for coming on cold and doing the last 15 minutes, and he's done well in the last 2 games as well. So no problems there for me.
No concerns. You and Boy Martin always supportive of Acsom. Great to see you, big fella. Engels showing class, champions again. Yeah, we're not taking that for granted. It's going to be 4 in a row after today. We've done it on our own terms. We've done it at Tannadice. It's a tangerine dream, some might say. David Boyle, you're back in. Hoping Jota just jarred his knee and didn't pop something when his studs jammed into the top. The thing with Jota is...
It looked like it didn't look like an ACL. So an ACL is when you twist, when your studs get stuck, but it's gone forward. So it looks like it might actually be like an MCL, or he might have tore his meniscus, or he could have even fractured his patellar if it's bad enough. But I would say it didn't look like an ACL, but it also did look like something quite bad that could be. To me, it looked 2 to 3 months the way he's done it, but I don't know.
That sounded like a Spanish meal. I'm glad that you're here with all the terminology, Sean. Tony Marr, here we go. Quite an eclectic range of Celtic songs, Rebel songs and hymns today. Yeah, it was great to hear the old hymn book coming out as well. Joe Hamilton, Kühn got the memo, come on you boys in green. He certainly did, and he's done it with a bit of style. I don't have an issue. The only issue I've ever had, Chris, with a Celtic celebration, and I've seen Ian Wright doing the chicken tonight, right? The only issue I've ever had, and it's no with the recency bias, is when Berkovic gave us one of them against Kilmarnock. I always remember it midweek game. And at that moment, and this is before I knew his political kind of thought process, I thought, away him. I'm not interested in you, mate. You're not a Celtic player for me, right? You don't do that to the Celtic support. But when Adam Idah gives it that, when he's playing for Ireland, or Kühn does whatever he did, what was it even? What was he doing? Was it one of them? I've no issue with that, Chris, because you know what? Just take it, son, and take it on board and score some goals, and that's the best answer that you can give us.
Yeah, absolutely. Just do your talking on the park. Jab back. It's fine. You're a footballer. You're going to get criticism when you don't play well. We've given him tons of praise this season, and rightly and deservedly so. He's human. He'll go through peaks and troughs, but I think he's odds on for a hat trick today. So he can. If he does that 3 or 4 more times in the second half, no issue. No issue at all. We're only human as well, and we've ran over by about 10 seconds. So thanks everybody for sticking with us. Go and enjoy the second half and join us at full time on A Celtic State of Mind.